Velocity can feel it. Velocity have done it. 3-2. They take the grand finals and are your undisputed champions.
Shivy, he's got to do something about it. The spike is ticking, but wrap up with the triple kill to end it off. Your champions are Team Tamelas. Hey guys, and welcome back to the LG Ultragear TEC Challenger Series 4, powered by Ideapad Gaming and AMD. We have ACT as our fiber partner and AFK Gaming as our media partner. It is a new day, and this time it's going to be the quarterfinals in the lower brackets. My name is Apollonia. I will be your host and caster, and joining me this time it's going to be CA, caster, and analyst. So I'm super excited because the first matchup that we have here in the first half, it is going to be Slay Them with Respect going up against the Rat Syndicate. And this is going to be particularly interesting because the Rat Syndicate ended up in the lower bracket because they went up against Slay Them with Respect. And how, Slay Them went down was yesterday we did see them go up against Velocity Gaming. And, they did fight really hard. They did get, quite a number of rounds for themselves, but ultimately they weren't able to beat the previous champions of Series 1 and 2. So let's head over into the map Veto screen and CA, what are your thoughts here on this matchup? What do you think we can expect?
I mean, for both teams, it's really a test of how much they've learned from their matches. For Slay Them with Respect, it's about taking lessons from one of the best teams in our region in Velocity Gaming. As you said, they did really well, but now they have to try to take like the few things that they didn't do well and improve upon that. For As Syndicate, it's all about revenge. They've already lost one map against Slay Them with Respect in the past. But the really interesting thing is that now coming into the lower bracket, where everything is on the line, literally anything can change because we know how motivated teams get when their tournament life is on the line. So we'll have to see who comes up on top.
Indeed, it is a double elimination, and this lower bracket is their last shot at having a chance to, climb further into the competition. And of course, the further you go, the more prize money you can win. And it also creates a statement for yourself and for your team to just ultimately show your strength at competitive Valorant. Now, looking at the team compositions, pretty similar. Two duelists on the side of the Rat Syndicate. They're going to get that Raze and Jet common picks here on Ascent. But if we are looking at Slay Them with Respect, if anything, I remember Bond F to be a complete monster on that Phoenix. He was very much comfortable. He reached pretty far up on the board. In fact, I think he was at the top of the board for his team, and he was on that Phoenix as well. So, that is definitely going to be a really great pick. Any thoughts here on the composition so far? There is still yet to be one agent to be picked on both sides. Oh,
We
and there
do
it is.
see that come through. And for Slay Them with Respect, it's a very standard team composition. The last pickup is that Jet. For the side of Rat Syndicate, though, I see a Killjoy coming through, and I personally am a big fan of that. Over the past few weeks, people have sort of really strayed away from the Killjoy because of her nerfs. But the way Killjoy has changed, less of a nerf, more of a long-term change to her playstyle. You can no longer use her the way you use Cypher. You cannot allow her to just sort of deny one site and rotate to the other. You have to pick up your utility with you if you're going to rotate. But that's where she really got buffed, because now if you pick up your turret, the cooldown is about 10 seconds. If you pick up your alarm bot, the cooldown just 7 seconds. So with Killjoy, it's a lot more about being able to be present where the push is happening. So for Slay Them with Respect, they need to try to get as many rotations as possible to prevent that Killjoy from getting max utility.
All right, and Slay Them with Respect, starting out on the side of defense, the Rat Syndicate on the side of attack, and this is Ascent. We are into the pistol round frenzy here. Paradox very much ready to lead the charge. The entry fragger coming in, and he is going to check all angles, but Juven is going to take him out with a headshot on that Ghost, and the Deoxys returns the kill. One more defender on site in the boathouse. Deoxys and ZBDF, they're going to find kills for themselves, and Deoxys hanging by a thread, 10 HP, is down to a 2v2 as the spike is being planted. Slay Them with Respect. Coming in for the retake, we do see the little turret placed there by Deoxys. Very well done. That will provide a little bit of damage and help when the defenders do try to come for the retake. Now, this is going to be Cliche, the one that is peaking, slightly more health available for him as compared to Deoxys. Bondef is going to find a kill, and it's all down to Cliche. He finds a headshot, and Bondef is going to wrap that up with a triple kill, and quickly defusing this spike. Great save by Bond F. Slay Them with Respect able to pick up this one round. That just sets a good pace, and the defenders can definitely look for a second round to take for themselves as well.
Yeah, the first round extremely well played by Slay Them With Respect, but specifically Bondef. The way he was able to get the 2 headshots right here and just sort of set his team up for success, denying that Killjoy from being able to use her utility in that post-plant position, meaning that he is able to make sure that Slay Them With Respect take the first round. Now, going into the next few rounds, it really does become up to Rat Syndicate to try to shut down Bondef and Slay Them With Respect, because Slay Them With Respect, they have to be feeling comfortable about the fact that they've already beaten Rat Syndicate, and against a team like Velocity Gaming, a player like Bondef looked on point. So right now, Bondef brimming with confidence, and that confidence is what Rat Syndicate need to stop, and they're looking to do that now with that mid push coming in. They've taken mid control, but now choosing to back off and instead rotate towards A with the help of Master's push. Master, though, is end up going to get going down to Nepu, and that's 5v4 for Slay Them With Respect.
Love! Oh my goodness, he sprays with that gold. He's gonna dash in, and Love picks up a triple, and Bondef is there to just back him up. Man, that was insane. You know, Love was in a little bit of a scuffle with Master there, and Master chose to push that dark cover. Thankfully, Nepu was right around the corner with that Spectre, and here it is. We can see it on the replay. Picks up that kill, and Love just blindly spraying. It must be the spider senses. Picking up that double kill. That is just insane. And the Rat Syndicate, we have seen them in many of the different series here in the TEC Challenger series. And, you know, we have seen moments where the Rat Syndicate has done really well, but we've also seen their struggles. And, you know, coming back here into Series 4, watching them make it all the way to the top 8 is definitely a significant improvement as compared to their previous placement in the Series 3. So it's really good to see, but that's going to be Love finding a kill onto Master. It's the full buy. Cliche turns around, picks up the kill onto Love, and one member down on each side. But, you know, the Rat Syndicate now, they gotta make this round work. They've got the full buys. They should have slightly more superior guns as compared to Slay Them With Respect. And Nepu is gonna take out that Owl drone. A little bit of information given away. Bondef with the Bulldog will find ZBDF. And the Rat Syndicate, how will they attack right now, considering that they've lost 2 members? They've lost 3 as Nepu chimes in, and Paradox dashes away. Paradox finds a double, and this comes down to the QB2.
But you win with that shock dart coming up huge. Will take down the spike carrier in Deoxys. Make it 2v1 for Slay Them With Respect. It's going to be up to Juven and Bondef. Both of them at CT side though. And that means the site is clear. Paradox going for a very safe plant. Knowing exactly where his opposition are. Will not find the kill though. Instead it's Bondef with that Bulldog able to take him down. 3-0 this will become for Slay Them With Respect, and with Rat Syndicate losing this round, this is the map picked by Rat Syndicate, so now they're looking in a very sticky situation. They're gonna end up going to a huge disadvantage in terms of economy and scoreline, and they need to find a way to pull it back. One of the biggest differences between Slay Them With Respect and the Rat Syndicate the last time we saw them was Rat Syndicate were making a lot more solo plays, a lot more sort of individual trying to pull off the flashy plays as compared to Slay Them With Respect, who are always playing together, who are always looking to synergize, and that really was what ended up being the difference when the teams met the last time around. Right now you can see that once again because the way both of the duelists push into a particular angle to allow the team's information is what is giving them a huge advantage. And now for a 3-man ace stack, Paradox with this Blade Storm, can he find one? We'll have to see. Ends up being taken down. That's man advantage for Slay Them With Respect, but not before Cliche answers back.
Now Nepu, he's gonna come in and pick up a kill, and there it is. He finds a second, just switching over to A short. You know the communications are working on the side of Slay Them With Respect, and Nepu finds the 3rd kill onto Master, and that is the 4th round secured for Slay Them With Respect. And you know, in regards to what you just mentioned about, you know, the team strategy, the Rat Syndicate, they do look a little bit disjointed. We don't see a lot of combos, a lot of support revolving around the abilities of the agents. And, you know, when it comes to this level of competition, Slay Them With Respect, we can see clearly what their idea is. And that is to spread their defenses out. When they do get a little bit of information, they're going to relay it. And you can see every single member on the side of defense kind of play accordingly to that information. As for the Red Syndicate, they choose a site that they want to go for. There hasn't been much rotations. We haven't seen it. They're going to force it instead. And that's going to be Appa finding Master. Juven's going to chime in. That's going to be a double for him. And it's coming out massive as the Red Syndicate are only down to just 2 members. Love here coming in with the operator in hand. Huge investment, and ideally a round that Slater with respect has to cling on to. But Bond F is going to take out ZBDF. Cliche finds one. And the Red Syndicate, they don't look like they are in a good spot at all. Not off to a great start. Love just gonna take some time, and there is a recon ball, helps him out a little bit, and Love is gonna finally connect that shot. 5th round for Slay Them with respect, and I think it's pretty evident here that the Red Syndicate, they aren't rotating. They are forcing their pushes, and if they want to, by all means, we gotta see more abilities used in a more calculated fashion.
Yeah, that round especially when you have the Killjoy ult ready to go in B side, that ult covers all angles of the B side with the sole exception of the CT angle, the long side where you enter from the CT side, and that's the angle they get completely mowed down from because only one player in Paradox is moving towards the angle. They need players to be able to cover for them while they're moving there so they can sort of make sure that they're able to get the push in, get the side plant, but they're not able to do that. Instead, Slay Them with respect, playing through that ultimate brilliantly, picking up that 5th round for themselves, and that's yet another buy round in the favor of Slay Them with respect. For Rat Syndicate, I expect them to be going for buys using the money coming in from the lose streak, but this round they need, otherwise their economy is just going to be in a complete shambles. Once again though, it's going to be Appa finding the first blood. Once again, Slay Them with respect with the advantage, and now Bond F with the double. The spike carrier down, this looks like it's over for Rat Syndicate.
Bond F, he finds that double on a long, and now we do see the firewall has been raised. A good bit of control there from the Phoenix, and Cliche is gonna find the headshot onto a Bond F. Now he is on site. He's gonna try and get spike planted. Love was just hiding right around the corner. Takes out Master. And last member standing is Cliche here on the side of Red Syndicate. And Love sticks a bullet right into him. I like to point out that Love and Bond F, as the duelists or Slay Them with respect, are really doing their jobs. Especially, you know, on the side of defense. They're definitely taking a more aggressive stance. We can see them pushing out of sight a little bit more, getting that information, as compared to Nepu, Juven, and Appa, who just kind of sits back, waits. Probably they're waiting for information. They just take very defensive stances. They're holding angles. But Bond, F, and Love, they have the freedom to do what they like within reason. So that is working out very well for Slay Them with respect. And the Red Syndicate still struggling to kind of, you know, find their foot on where exactly they want to attack from and how they are going to do it. Rotations are still not in, and I do hope that, you know, the attackers will come up with a very creative way to approach the next few rounds. Now Love is gonna find the kill right off the bat with that off.
Master pushing in aggressively even through the smoke down at the B-mid angle, just ends up being mowed down by Slay Them with respect. And right now, it really feels like Rat Syndicate not giving Slay Them with respect the respect they deserve. They're very much trying to play this like it's any other team, not acknowledging that Slay Them with respect, able to continuously predict what Rat Syndicate want to do. But Cliche now with the Sheriff, once again, able to find at least one return kill for Rad. Now Rat Syndicate, they're on the eco round. They're in a 3v4 situation for them. It's about trying to get the spike planter, trying to do damage, and they're going for that Omen ultimate down into A side. But Nepu is waiting right here. He has his utility. Will take down Paradox. Will delay the plant coming into. Will find the second, and that's going to be 7-0 for Slay Them with respect. Slay Them with respect just being dominant right now.
The Rat Syndicate, I'm not sure what is happening here, and you know, you could argue that, you know, Ascent is defense favored, but hey, you gotta still rake up those rounds on the side of attack, because ultimately you can't just give away 12 rounds to the enemy. So, you know, it's a little bit unfortunate to see that the Red Syndicate is kind of struggling. We do know their power because each individual player on the side of attack, they are very gifted. I mean, if there's anything, we have seen some of the earliest and the best jet plays coming out from Paradox. ZBDF, he's had his moments as well. And even Master on that race, but it seems like there is a disconnect because Love is just a monster with this operator. Definitely a contender, and he's not going to connect that shot. that is going to be ZBDF taking him out instead. Down to a
Camera taken
3v3.
out.
This looks pretty close. The Rat Syndicate actually has a chance. They might just have cracked this one out. And now we see the dark cover placed onto Raptors. Must be the doings of
My eyes are
ZBDF.
burning.
Nipu is gonna spray. He finds the Oxys. Playing out of his mind. He is so comfortable in defense as he finds his second kill. And it's down to this 2v1. Cliche takes out Bond F. He is going to watch the Raptors. 33 HP. Napu with 27. And
One
Cybercade
player
is
remaining.
popped. Cliche is going to take out Alpha. It's down to the 1v1. But Napu had the advantage with that angle. And that is going to be a triple kill. Easy defuse for the defenders.
Nepo playing A-side beautifully with some very defensive trapwire positioning, preventing them from actually pushing into site and holding down extremely well from Raptors, able to make sure that even if they do get the spike planted the way they did, he has control of his own real estate to just sort of fortify and hold down the site with. For Rat Syndicate, what I'm really missing is the biggest difference between Cypher and Killjoy is the way you can use Killjoy in attack, especially on Ascent, the way you can place the turret in the mid walls, you can place them on top of the walls and essentially get control of a few angles down at mid using the help of only your turret, and Rat Syndicate really not doing that. Neither are they punishing the peaks continuously coming in from the duelists of Slay Them With Respect. With that peak, it's gonna be Love finding the first kill onto Paradox. Love looking for another, but once again meets his kryptonite in ZBDF. Will end up being taken down. That's 4v4 for both teams.
It's happening time and time again. ZBDF just killing the joy of Love, but that's gonna be Appa to avenge his buddy there, and he pushes the smoke. He's gonna get the second kill onto Master. He sprays away, but Cliche is just a little bit too quick. Down to a 2v2. The Rat Syndicate, they just gotta find that one round. It could help them with their momentum. And Juven is going to push out B main, but we do see the rotation coming in from that Sova, and meanwhile the Killjoy just setting up her abilities on the A side. A very good choice, and this might just be the chance that the Rat Syndicate can capitalize on. The Cliche dashing out that recombo. He's going to try and get some information. It's all up to the Killjoy to protect him while he's getting that spike planted. But we do see the Hunter's Fury. And Juven, a good time, takes out Cliche, preventing him. Oh no, the spike has actually been planted. So it is going to be Deoxys having to defend this. And the turret goes down. Deoxys sees this. He's going to find one. He is going to try his best. But Bon F is going to come out on top. This is the second time that he has clutched it out for the boys. And that will be the 9th round for Slay Them With Respect.
Deoxys, a good effort coming in towards the end, but I'm really not a big fan of the positioning of his own utility. Using that turret to cover the Raptors angle from their boxes meant that even if someone actually came in from the Raptors, they would be able to find the peak on him before the turret found them. Inherently, the turret positioning could be much better on top of the Raptors itself to cover both long and the Raptors angle, and then you basically can play either under the Raptors or behind the tin box using your swarm grenades to delay any sort of diffuse. And the biggest difference for me is that when you play Killjoy, you really have to be this patient person, and you have to set up your utility predicting what the other people are going to do. If you're not able to find those predictions, suddenly Killjoy becomes really useless, because unlike Cypher, you cannot just pick up his utility without any cost. So for Deoxys, the game not working out, and for Rat Syndicate really, this round just needs to be something where they can pull it back, because as you said, Rat Syndicate might just be more comfortable on defense, and they need to find a couple rounds before they get to that. But Love constantly putting a stop into their plans, getting that first blood once again, and Bondef with the run it back will get a bunch of information, but not any kills just yet. But you can see the discipline coming out from Slay Them With Respect. They're like, you know what, we know everyone's down at A short, but since we got the information, we're expecting rotation, so we're going to hold our positions.
Indeed, and you know, despite the Rat Syndicate with a very similar approach for every round, yeah, I do agree that they have the discipline to, you know, just kind of keep themselves spread out. We do see a little bit of a hint of the Rat Syndicate changing things up. ZBDF lurking around in the mid-court, yeah, probably looking for an opportunity for his team. But there is going to be a little bit of lingering on A-Long as well.
30 seconds
it
left.
Seems like they might be trying to wait this one out with only less than 25 seconds on the clock. the Rat Syndicate has to pick this up. And ZBDF, he comes
You
through
should
mid,
run.
finds a kill, and Appa is going to get the second. And 3 members still remain on site. Love picks up that kill onto Master. And that is going to be a wrap as Juven finds the last frag. Double digits on the scoreboard. Yeah, I don't think, you know, gunning for the same site constantly is going to work. And slay them with respect. It's almost like they see through the Rat Syndicate completely. 10-0. I have to call it for what it is, you know. The Rat Syndicate, it's just such a shame because they are really brilliant in their own way, but struggling this much to slay them with respect, I would have thought that the fight might be a little bit closer, considering that it is a chance for the Rat Syndicate to get a little bit of revenge.
Yeah, I really expected, especially with that like Killjoy pick, that Rat Syndicate were coming into this matchup trying to do something different and find that revenge story for them. But right now, slay them with respect. They feel like they're sort of motivated by that loss coming in from velocity. They're always covering the right angle, and it's Love holding down the angle, knowing the mid push is coming in. With his 4th kill now, will find the ace. Love just popping off to make it 11-0 for Slay Them With Respect. It just feels like it's over, and yeah, it's as disappointing to watch as I'm sure it feels for the Rat Syndicate.
Indeed, you know, and oh my goodness, Love. I mean, you have to love. Oh my goodness, I mean, just picking up that 4K, you know, using that operator for the first 3 kills and then taking out those daggers. I think that is what makes Jet such a great agent with the op, because if you're not in a close range battle, you can fall back on that ultimate, and you know, ultimately you don't have to invest in an extra pistol. So that is where Jet can become very versatile. Slay them with respect. It almost looks like they are going to probably take this map 1 on the clean slate, unless the Rat Syndicate is going to do something about it. This is going to be the last round before the swap, and Bond F will find ZPDF.
Now you can see that with Slay Them With Respect once again getting first blood, Rat Syndicate, it just sort of feels like they're a bit flustered and a bit lost, because they're once again going to try to pick down the same angle where they lost one. But Paradox versus Love is the op fight coming out. Both of them missed their shots though. So in round 2, it's going to be up to which Jet player is able to find that first kill. Now the Swarm Grenade will come out to clear out that angle for Paradox, but Appa able to find the kill, prevent any sort of push. Deoxys though instantly finds the return kill onto Love, but Juven holding it down will find one. Deoxys with 2 more makes it a triple for himself, and a 2v2 on the map now. This is where the Killjoy really excels. If she can get the spike planted and then use the turret and the alarm bot to sort of just hold down the post-plant positions, if Rat Syndicate can get at least 1 round in this half, maybe, just maybe, they can pull off a comeback in the second half.
Now the spike is ticking. It is against the defenders. The Rat Syndicate finally getting a very successful plant, able to move into their post-plant positions. Now they are taking cover on site at the boathouse. Cliche gonna find Nepu. Bond F. He is gonna go up against Deoxys 1v1. And they're playing with each other, but that's gonna be a 4K for Deoxys, securing the first round for the Rat Syndicate. Better late than never.
Sides.
Rat Syndicate doing really well to actually pull off at least 1 round for themselves, and the fact that they get that round and the fact that it's Deoxys getting the 4K should give them at least a temporary bit of confidence going into their defensive side. And the defensive side is where Killjoy sort of gets to dictate the tempo or where she wants to play. Now this is where we have to keep a close eye on exactly how the utility usage coming from Killjoy factors into the positioning of the rest of the team, because the way you can use Killjoy, especially on A side, is that she can hold down that site all by yourself, enabling you to either multi-man stack B side or multi-man stack mid, and then look to force in from there. So you're looking to see if Rat Syndicate will do that. Instead, it's going to be Killjoy at B, and we'll see if they can make an impact, because Slay Them With Respect, they're going for A.
Now as they trail in on A long, ZBDF, he's gonna just lay out a dark cover. And it seems like he's gonna get a little bit of information. All the members are gonna rotate, and Bondef will find ZBDF. Now slay them with respect on site, but Paradox finds a double, and he is going to do what he can to save his team. Now a man down, the attackers are scrambling, the spike has been planted, they've got to be quick, and they have to defend it from the defenders. Now Cliché is going to find love, and the Rat Syndicate, it is going heavily in their favor. The defuse has been set off, but Juven, he's going to find a triple, and it's all down to Deoxys. Juven is an absolute madman. And this is exactly what he's going to do, but the defuse does go through. And that was a clutch from Deoxys, just playing it very sneaky there. 2 times in a row, the rounds have been saved by Deoxys. So, you know, you got to give it to the Killjoy.
Yeah, Deoxys playing that round especially well. I think he used the noise made through the headshots to just sort of stick the defuse completely through. Actually, no, he gets half of it done and then sticks the rest of it through the recon bolt. And Juven, expecting a fake, ends up not going for the play. I have to say, for Juven and Nepu though, in a 2v1 situation, you can afford to go for a peek, even if you think it's a fake. But nevertheless, it's Deoxys playing it really well, finding yet another round for Rat Syndicate. And now Rat Syndicate with the buys will be ZBDF looking down a shot, able to find the opening kill for the Rat Syndicate. The round lead is humongous for Slay Them With Respect, but for everything we've seen, we know that any sort of comeback is possible.
Revealing area.
Now 2 members down, slay them with respect. It looks like attack might be a little bit difficult, but they do have the less superior guns.
Drone.
The Rat Syndicate Cliché here, gonna drop that owl drone. Scouting the area, can't see his buddy there in market. Master's gonna find Juven. And Appa here. Bondef taking out Master. Deoxys gonna find a kill of his own, and Bondef is the last member standing. That Sheriff is gonna be useful, but Paradox comes in, takes him out, and the Rat Syndicate with a little bit of a momentum now. And it's good to see that the Rat Syndicate has not completely given up. We can still see their fight. They didn't have a good time at all in the first half, but at least here in the second half, they're making the best of the situation. And to see that, you know, it's good to be able to witness that the Rat Syndicate, they have a fighting spirit. And this ultimately is a best of 3. They still have a little bit of time to kind of fight this out. Now the Rat Syndicate, let's just pull up the scoreboard and have a look at how everybody is doing. And we can see here Cliché 13-13. And Love there with a total of 20 kills. Absolutely crazy. But Bond F, the only member here on the map that does have the ultimate, and he can definitely put it to good use. And that is, running back is going to keep him safe. Now slay them with respect. They have decided to attack the A side. Apple and Love, they're going to find kills. Bondef just going to shut that metal door to help his teammates out. The Rat Syndicate down to 3 members. This could be match point for Slay Them With Respect. Cliché, he dashes out a bolt, but he's getting burned by Bondef's hot hands. Now he's going to inch his way back in. He spots the Cloudburst. Should have an idea on roughly where everybody is. Now he's going to find one. Cliché consistently picking up these frags. Gonna back away just to reload. He's the last man standing. 1v3 situation. Danger. He's gonna spray it out the wall. He knows that this is tough. And that is gonna be the recall bolt. They're not gonna take it out. He's looking for that info, but Love comes in, takes him out. Very close to short. And that is gonna be match point for Slay Them With Respect.
Match point for Slay Them With Respect, and I was about to say that if Rat Syndicate can win the buy round, maybe they can pull off some sort of comeback using the pressure from that on Slay Them With Respect's economy. But the fact that Slay Them With Respect just going for the fast A site execute, knowing that it's the Killjoy is set up at B, just able to force the side very easily and makes Rat Syndicate come to them and sort of play on their own terms. Now Slay Them With Respect on the match point, Rat Syndicate, they will be able to afford their buys, but in a situation where they have to go for the light shields, not gonna look that great. But ZBDF will find the first kill on Appa. Paradox pushing in aggressively, not necessary there at all, will end up going down, and Nepu with another onto ZBDF will mean it's Slay Them With Respect with the lead. Now Cliché will end up going down. Love with another, with just 12 HP left, playing at the brink of his death but surviving.
This could be the last round for the Rat Syndicate unless Master and Deoxys find a way to pull this back in their favor. Now Juven's gonna plant and Master connects that shot onto Love. Now that is one man down. They've got 3 more to go as the Ox is making his way. He's letting himself be known, but Juven takes him out. This could be the end for the side of defense. Master with only a Sheriff and 2 Satchel Packs in hand gets flashed by Bond F. And we see the bullets firing through from the bottom of Raptors. The Aldron's gonna spot Master. And this seems almost impossible. The Hunter's Fury's looking for him. And Master, he can't do anything, but Juke and time is not on his side. Bond F wraps that up. And this map number 1 in the lower bracket of the quarterfinals is gonna go over to Slay Them With Respect.
Slay Them With Respect, they came into this matchup with the confidence of the fact that they've already beaten Rat Syndicate and they're able to use that confidence to perfection. Love and Bond Def, the way they played their defensive side, as you previously mentioned, constantly just using their aggressiveness, the ability, the fact that they have the Phoenix in their team as compared to Raze, using those extra flashes to continuously get the extra real estate for themselves, get that shot control, make sure that they're the ones who are dictating the tempo even in on their defensive side, able to make sure that they're able to take them down 13-3. And going into the next map, Rat Syndicate, they need a complete overhaul of their strategies because otherwise, Slay Them With Respect, they're going to be continuing on the same level of confidence.
Indeed. And now let's move into Relive the Moment, brought to you by Ideapad Gaming 3 notebook, powered by 4000 series Ryzen processors, perfect for gaming and multitasking. And talk a little bit more about what went down in map number 1 here between Slay Them With Respect and Rat Syndicate. So I'm going to start with Rat Syndicate. A performance that I didn't quite expect, but it must be, a lot of pressure. What more they are in lower bracket of the quarterfinals, so this means everything. It was good to see a little bit more light from Rat Syndicate after the side swap, where they did do a little bit better on the side of defense. But Ascent being a map that the Rat Syndicate picked for themselves, and they weren't able to take it, that just brings a lot of questions about what is going to happen in map 2. Now, Slay Them With Respect initially put the Rat Syndicate into the lower bracket in the round of 16. So, the Rat Syndicate, they must have had a little bit of an idea of what they're about. I just hope to see more plans on how to combat the playstyle of Slay Them With Respect. But nonetheless, Rat Syndicate, they made it all the way to the quarterfinals. So that still is a good achievement in itself. As for Slay Them With Respect, Bond F and Love, both of them are on a rampage, and they seem to work really well together as duelists. Sometimes you catch both of them, hanging around A side. They might switch from A long to A short on the defensive side, doing what they can and picking up those multiple frags. I believe Love got an ace at one point. They are very valuable members, and it's so complementary to their remaining 3 members because you gotta have a balance of aggressiveness and defensiveness. And I think, these can start to see the whole package that Slay Them With Respect has.
Yeah, it really did feel like a match where Rat Syndicate got flustered because of Love's proficiency with the operator. He picked up 6 first bloods for himself in that matchup, able to continuously influence a particular round. Bondev not too far behind with 3 for himself. That's basically 9 rounds where the duelists are able to instantly, as soon as the round starts, give Slay Them With Respect a huge advantage. And I really do think that is what ended up being the difference for Slay Them With Respect versus the Rat Syndicate. That sort of proactive plays, using what they have in their agents to continuously get those small advantages for themselves, wherein they together as a team can then exploit those advantages and bring this scoreline to what it is now. 13-3 is the scoreline, and going into the next map, I want to see something brand new from Rat Syndicate.
Indeed, guys. So do stay tuned. We're going to prepare for map number 2. But in the meantime, remember, we do have a massive sale on LG monitors. And do check out the links in the description as well. You can follow us on our socials for all tournament-related updates. Remember to like and subscribe. Click that bell icon so you get notifications whenever we are live so that you can support your favorite teams. So without further ado, we're going to take a small break, take a chill pill, and we'll be back very shortly.
Velocity can feel it. Velocity have done it. They take the grand finals and are your undisputed champions.
Shivy, he's got to do something about it. The spike is ticking, but Rappa with the triple kill to end it off. Your champions are Team Tamelas. Hey guys, and welcome back to the LG Ultragear TEC Challenger Series 4, powered by Ideapad Gaming and AMD. We have ACT as our fiber partner and AFK Gaming as our media partner. Today is a great day. For some reason, CA and I are both feeling extremely good, but let's get back into the action. It is still going to be the Rat Syndicate versus Slay Them With Respect, and we saw Slay Them With Respect take map 1 for themselves, and the scoreline, I believe it was 13-3. It was a pretty dominating performance, and we could see, you know, a few of the cracks in the Red Syndicate, but hopefully here in map 2, which, you know, they have actually picked as well, and it is going to be split. And, you know, I really like to see the Red Syndicate, you know, kind of surprise us. You know, they've been around for the longest time. Paradox, I believe he was one of the first few Jets to be really flashy, full of those extremely insane highlights. But coming in here, we can see there it is split right in the middle of the screen. And starting out on the side of attack, it's going to be the Rat Syndicate. For defenders, it is Slay Them With Respect. So looking at the approach for split, how do you think the agents come into play, and what do you think these teams should look at and focus on?
Oh, I think Rat Syndicate might be going for the double Sentinel lineup, which is a really curious thing to go, because like normally on Split you just Split not a great map for Sova, so you can see Juve, he's shifting onto the Omen, Appa shifting onto the Cypher to allow Nepu to pick up that breach. The breach is what we expect, and the breach, I guess, it will be what will be coming through for Rat Syndicate as well. I think I would have liked the double Sentinel though, because it sort of offers a fresh perspective on how you can play the map, and it also works really well into breach, because breach is really good against really good at sort of forcing entries into sites, and that's what double sentinel sort of prevents. You're always sort of trying to make sure that the entry is prevented with that utility, and with that double sentinel locked in, I think we're set in for a spicy matchup.
It's really interesting because both teams have a very different approach, and it does look like Slay Them With Respect might be a little bit more aggressive when you're looking at it. And the Rat Syndicate, you know, with the double sentinel approach, like you mentioned, they do look a little bit more passive. So it's going to be pretty cool to see how both these teams play when they're on the side that doesn't quite favor their composition. But, you know, it is Valorant. You got to figure out a way to kind of wombo combo, make it work. And I think ultimately that is what is extremely exciting about this game. So
Need a drop.
right off the bat, you know, Love, he performed
Thank you.
absolutely amazing on that Jet. But this time it's gonna be the Reyna. And I can kind of understand why you know, he might not want to play the Jet.
There. There.
Looking at Split as a map, there are areas that, yes, you can get into very surprising positions, but the opportunities are not as endless as a map like Ascent. So, you know, Split a little bit more straight, more corners. The breach gonna be very powerful, even that Phoenix as well. So let's see how this pans out, CA.
Yeah, as you said, both of these teams on the side that they sort of prefer a little lesser. So it's going to come down to which team is able to sort of be out of their comfort zone, but yet be just as consistent and take the lead in this first half. Now, going into this match is going to be Rat Syndicate on the attack, Slay Them With Respect on the defense, and instantly you can see that there has been a paramount change for the Rat Syndicate. No longer are they going to try to brute force a site. They make a bunch of noise at A, but now looking for that rotation onto B. but slay them with respect, with just as much discipline, still holding strong at B. Now with the dark covers coming out at B, Rat Syndicate, they're going for the mind games. They're trying to fake a B push, but now rotating back towards A. I really like this approach from the Rat Syndicate.
I do feel like they have tried this a couple of times before in the first map. It didn't quite work solely because Slay Them With Respect has so much discipline at holding angles, and they don't jump to conclusions without any kind of evidence. And I don't think the Rat Syndicate is giving them reason enough to rotate, because there isn't a lurker, and that is going to be a huge massacre. Only down to 2 members on the side of the Rat Syndicate. They have less than 20 seconds to get the spike plot. The ZPDF connects that headshot, and he gets the kill for himself. He's going to fire away and picks up Nepu as well. Bond F takes up Cliché. It's all up to ZPDF. 12 seconds on the clock. The spike is not close to him at all. And this looks like a round definitely for Slay Them With Respect, as Appa cleans it up. And that will be the first round.
Rat Syndicate, for them, like, as you said, right, they tried this a couple times. It didn't end up working out because of the discipline of Slay Them With Respect. And it's that discipline here that really ends up panning out on top, because Rat Syndicate, they tried to force up into ramps through heaven, expecting nobody, or at least lesser people from Slay Them With Respect to be there. But Slay Them With Respect, they do not do any unnecessary rotations. They hold down their angles, hold down their sights, able to pick up the pistol round. And coming back to the composition, I do like this Love Reyna pickup, because as you said, like, a lot of corners in split, and if you have both the Jet and the Raze, you sacrifice that extra bit of flash that you can bring with the Reyna. And now Bond, Juin, and Love each getting one. Master tried to fly into the middle, but just gets more down. 5v1 already for Slay Them With Respect.
Now Juven, he's gonna get the last kill. So, you know, Slay Them With Respect carrying over the momentum from the first round that they did win, and definitely investing in those buys. Now the third round is where it's gonna count. The Rat Syndicate should have the opportunity to have more superior guns, and I would like to see the Rat Syndicate just pull out a little bit more creativity, spread out, go for the gun duels. They have that potential. Paradox, ZPDF, they can go for these fights. They can get a pick off or two and then make the decision to rotate or go for a site. Now Bond F, he has a total of 5 kills right off the bat. That is just absolutely mad. Looks like his ultimate is going to be charged up pretty soon, and he's going to let out them for a very aggressive stance, and that flash is gonna help him and assist him in picking up that kill. And now ZPDF just hiding right around the corner. The Cypher Cage thrown out by the side of defense. Slay Them With Respect. Majority of the members closer to the B side. Paradox is gonna find Nepu, and Appa's quick to respond. Now down to a 4v3. The Rat Syndicate, they are not struggling as Master comes in. Finds one, couldn't find the second. ZPDF is there, and he is with his buddy. Now Appa falls. It's down to a 2v2. The Rat Syndicate with a slight disadvantage, considering that the Cypher is pretty low. Cliché will secure that plant. He has the teleport ability in hand. If he could outplay using that, it will be massive. But Cliché is going to fall as Juven picks him up and Slay Them With Respect, showing that the retake is not going to be a problem for them at all.
Yeah, see, the thing is, Rat Syndicate, they really cannot afford to all group up around one particular angle this round. They all sort of group up around that mid-B side, because once you do that, you're opening yourself to sort of coming to prey to that Breach and Raze combo, very similar to the Breach and Jet combo, with the key difference that what Raze brings to the table is that extra firepower in her Boombot and her Paint Grenade. If the Breach able to land a particular flash, it becomes almost impossible to dodge that grenade or the Boombot and just set up the Jet beautifully. Now Love going for that peek, finding the headshot on the Paradox and using the dismiss to perfection to get himself away. Rat Syndicate, they're trying to push into sight, but with Slay Them With Respect and Appa and Juven and Love holding down strong, it doesn't seem like they have anywhere to go.
Indeed, now the Rat Syndicate, they're forced to eco, and we can see ZPDF here with the Ghost as he moves along, but Bond F, he's going to be watching the corner. Master is right there, and that is Nepu. He's going to throw out the Seismic Blast, and they do have the info. Now Master is going to find Love, and Nepu gets a double kill to end the round off. Slay Them With Respect, so confident on the side of defense. And one thing I'd like to add is that, you know, Slay Them With Respect, they are proving time and time again, you know, through map 1, through the first couple of rounds here, and even in the upper bracket against Velocity, that no matter what kind of situation, each individual member actually has the potential to kind of clutch out situations. So, if you're looking at Slay Them With Respect as a team, I feel that every single player, apart from the duelists, right, they do have an equal skill level and they are trustworthy, they can be relied on. And it's really great to see, the progress of this team, the fact that, now they're in the top 8. That's going to be Master dropping the satchel, looking to get rid of one of those defenders. He's going to find the kill on the Appa. Love responds very quickly, and Bond very much ready. Love sprays away. Paradox is going to find Nebu. And this is a little bit of light for the Rat Syndicate as they take out, Slay Them With Respect. They've come in with the vengeance. They've figured out the plan. It was a very aggressive push and the first round for the Rat Syndicate. And that is exactly what I like to see.
Yeah, Rat Syndicate using their ultimates really, really well. First dodging out Bond's ultimate, the showstopper, which went through mid, and then Master with his ultimate able to pick up the opening kill to allow his team to be able to push into site and get the site plant, backed up by Paradox on that run it back. I'm really glad to see now Rat Syndicate not losing that second buy round, picking it up for themselves, meaning they give themselves a shot to stabilize their economy and try to push forward. Looking at the scoreline, like you can see, Master and ZBDF, they're the ones really leading the charge for the Rat Syndicate. We'll have to see if they can continue doing so. Now, this approach by the Rat Syndicate is what I really, really like. Try to spread yourselves out completely throughout the map, because what this prevents is it prevents Nepu on that breach from being able to find the perfect position for his team to be able to move forward. And it sort of plays into also what you mentioned, which is the mechanical capability of these players on the Rat Syndicate, able to sort of break the entire game down into 1v1 or 2v2 duels where they can come out on top. Rat Syndicate now, all of them spread out throughout. It's going to be Paradox looking for the push, just causing a lot of noise down at B. I expect this to be followed by a rotation, because Rat Syndicate, they cannot get B control with the Cypher holding it down.
Oh, there's going to be Appa here. He is expecting a little bit of a raid. The Paranoia comes out. Nicely placed, and the Rat Syndicate using their abilities in unison. But Appa pops out at the right time, catches TJ off guard, and Master is going to put a bullet into his head. How dare you do that to my teammate? And the Oxys will secure the plan. Juven's going to find one, so does Nepu. And the Rat Syndicate, they might just have dropped the ball here. A successful plant, but Nepu's going to throw out the Rolling Thunder. They are on site. Love is looking for blood, and Juven's going to find the Oxys. ZPDF, last man standing, 1v2. He could play around the timer, but the defuse is coming out, and Nepu is going to clean that up. 5th round for Slay Them With Respect. They just look so clean right now and honestly pretty unstoppable. Now, if we're talking about split, it is a very defense-favored map. When it comes to attack, even, to the likes of teams that have been champions before, we do see a little bit of a struggle when it comes to attack on split, just because it is pretty tough. The corridors are narrow. It's easy to watch from an angle when you're on the side of defense, and when you're on the side of attack, creativity is so key. You gotta have a lurker at some point, and it is a very pressurizing job to be a lurker as well, because if anything goes wrong, it makes attack almost feel impossible. So if creating ruckus doesn't work, you've got to rely on that firepower and usage of your abilities.
Yeah, and that's where really, I think, for me at least, the alt point control, both at A long and in B garage, really comes into importance, because the team that is able to get those alt points gets that alt a little bit faster, and with impactful alts like the run it back and the showstopper, it can make all the difference. But now Paradox, that firepower that we were expecting, coming out strong, finds a double, now using the run it back as well as the neural tap push in, he will be taken down by Love, and now Love looking for the aggressive push, but his spike is at A, all the noise at D, and Rat Syndicate using that distraction perfectly, finding their creativity.
Talk about a goosebump moment, because that is what you call big brain plays, and the Rat Syndicate, they are going to secure that second round. Through the entirety of this round, I was just getting goosebumps, because Paradox comes in, his aggressive self, very much looking like he is in his element, pushing it to B, picking up all these frags, but his teammates, they get the spike planted at A. And you can see a little bit of a scramble from Slay Them With Respect. This is what you need to do, and it's so refreshing to see that they finally cracked it. Now, The question is, will they be consistent with this strategy? Because consistency is key, and Slay Them with Respect still has 3 rounds over them. So, you know, in effect, that was a glimpse of the potential that the Red Syndicate has, but it's got to come in on and on. But Love is gonna find a double kill and completely stop that. Now, we do see the spike take, the spike is in sewers. Love is gonna go for the aggressive push. Now, Juven's gonna find Paradox and slay them with respect. They're on their toes now. They got caught off guard. They're not gonna let it happen again. And Deoxys just transporting that spike. ZPDF here with the op in hand on the Cypher. Now, the double sentinels on the side of attack, it is really tough to play with. And ZPDF just gonna move up. He's gonna spot one, but not quick enough as Juven takes him out. And that was a massive investment from the side of the Rat Syndicate. Now Deoxys is all up to him. Last man standing. And he's gonna take out Bond F. But this means the defenders have been alerted. They know where he is. But Deoxys finds the second kill. 3 more to go. If he does clutch this out, it's gonna be insane. He's gonna drop the alarm bot, make his way onto site. 72 HP. The turret is gonna be of a little bit of help. Now Deoxys playing this very slowly. 20 seconds left. And 1v3 situation. He's trying to get the spike planted. The fault line comes out by Nepu in perfect time. It might not be possible, and Nepu takes him out. That is Slay Them with Respect. 6th round for themselves.
Play Them with Respect, they recollect themselves, and they once again, they go for that aggressive push down into A shore, and Love able to pick up that double with both Cliche and Master peeking him one by one, really ended up making a huge difference to that round, because even though the heroics from Deoxys come in with smart predictions as to where Rat Syndicate is supposed to be, Slay Them with Respect just able to group up and then go on the push onto a solo Deoxys, and with that operator now going back into the hands of Slay Them with Respect, it's going to look like a very difficult task. But Ju, when going for the aggressive peek, will get taken down. Paradox finds one, but Love finding another will drop the spike and will mean that it's now 4v4. It's going to be up to Rat Syndicate to try to force this side before Slay Them with Respect able to regroup.
Now Cliche, he is gonna teleport right onto site, and ZPDF will secure their plant. Slay Them with Respect. Definitely caught off guard, but Bonef is gonna find Master. Cliche lurking in screens with Paradox. The neural theft has been dropped. They are in a compromised state, but Paradox is still gonna take out Nepu and Slay Them with Respect. They are in a little bit of a pickle. Alpha making full use of the spy camp. He's the last member standing as Bonef falls as well. And the Rat Syndicate, are they back in business as Paradox picks up a 4K? Very nice to see. A little bit of confidence coming out from the Rat Syndicate. And it's funny how you can see it very clearly through the gameplay.
Yeah, especially in Paradox's gameplay, right? He's very willing now to go for the peaks as compared to the rather sort of aggressive pushes he was making in map 1, which didn't really make sense. Now these aggressive pushes are in conjunction with what their team wants to do. Before we saw the distract strategy, this time we're able to see Paradox using himself as an entry fragger, getting his team in, and now it's 6-3. Forcing Slay Them with Respect onto an eco round is absolutely humongous because they were able to get themselves to that 4-point mark and push in even more. Paradox, that confidence once again, getting him first blood. He already has his third run it back of the first half, and he's going to use it to get his team into B side.
And Paradox, he's gonna find Bond F. The Rat Syndicate, they finally cracked the code. It looks like it is leading heavily in their favor. Nepu is gonna use that frenzy to take Paradox out. A little bit of an equal round for Slay Them with Respect. Slow approach. The defenders, they gotta go for the retake as the spike is ticking.
Now, you see Love pushing in, using that Lear to get himself through the smoke, but Deox is holding it down strong from this side, able to find the double headshots onto Love and Nepu. Take them down, make it 6-4 for the Rat Syndicate. The Rat Syndicate, they have the operator for themselves, but the last round, that was the eco round for Slay Them with Respect, and we'll have to see if Slay Them with Respect can pull it back, because the Rat Syndicate, they're that double sentinel composition. They're very much willing to go into the second half with a slight disadvantage. So if they're able to get to that 5-round or even 6-round mark, they will be extremely ecstatic with that scoreline. So it's going to be up to Slay Them with Respect to make sure that on their own defensive half, they maintain this lead. Now Bond has his ultimate, will use the boombot to just sort of look towards here before he commits. But Paradox using that firewall to perfection to deny that B heaven side completely and now take control of Wentz, looking to push into A.
Now, that was a very nice push there, but getting the kills is where it matters. And it seems like Paradox, he's just gonna pull away. And now they might just move into B tower. Paradox backed up by his buddies. He's gonna throw out that curveball, but accidentally flashes himself as well. He's gonna spot one, and that opening kill can mean everything to the Rat Syndicate at this point as they slowly inch their way back up, trying to get a tie on the scoreboard. Paradox finds another kill, and it is translating so well as the Rat Syndicate, they see the light, they feel the fire under themselves, but Juven comes in. He might just stop that momentum. Appa's gonna find Master, and the spike has been planted. Now it's down to this 2v2 Juven. He's gonna teleport out of the lockdown, rendering it useless. And the defenders, they're coming back in post-plant positions for the Rat Syndicate. They are watching very good angles. I do like the positions that they're in. They have the information, and that is going to be the Rolling Thunder coming out from Nepu. Not going to connect quite. And Juven, he's going to watch all angles. He finds Cliche. He knows where the last member is, but ZBDF on that op, he takes Juven out. Nepu trying to go for the defuse, and he sprays ZBDF off. Does he have the time? Easily with 7 seconds to spare. 3 rounds in the lead is Slater with respect as we go into the last round before the swap.
That round especially important for Slay Them with respect to pick up, because you cannot afford to go into the last round at 6-5 in a position where Rat Syndicate is sort of able to make it an even Steven scoreline. Juven and Nepu is doing really well, using both of their abilities in conjunction. First you saw the Rolling Thunder come out from Nepu, and then as soon as the Rolling Thunder's charge was done, the Paranoia came out to sort of enable them to funnel into sight, and then ZBDF missing that one key shot when that Rats, it'll be Slay Them with respect, making it 7-4. Now Slay Them with respect, they're going for the aggressive push down into B garage. They're not going to find anyone though, because Rat Syndicate with nobody taking hold of mid, able to easily get into B heaven, and now looking to push into B side. This is going to be an extremely important defense coming out from Appa. If he can just hold on and prevent this push from B heaven, then Rat Syndicate end up in a corner where they're not looking so great. Nepu with that flash will find first blood.
Now the Rat Syndicate, if they can take this last round, it just puts them in a really good spot to try to fight their way back up on the side of defense, considering that they have the double Sentinel setup. Deoxys is going to fight Nepu. The Rat Syndicate, Cliche, takes out Love. A little bit of pressure eased off, but Appa's going to fight Deoxys. Cliche comes down from heaven, and Bondef reps that up. This first half is going to end off 8-4.
Switching sides.
In favor of Slay Them with respect, but we always talk about Magic number 4, and you know, we could see a little bit of a comeback from the Rat Syndicate going into the second half, but overall, I want to give credit to Slay Them with respect for pulling off such consistency here on the side of defense. Now the real test is going to be them on the side of attack, and I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, now both of the teams at the side that they really do prefer, Slay Them with respect with that breach. Now they'll be able to completely dictate the tempo of their pushes, sort of force Rat Syndicate to respond on their terms. And this is where the discipline for Rat Syndicate will come under test. They have that double Sentinel lineup, so theoretically and purely theoretically, the sites should be completely easy to defend. It's gonna come down to them to make sure they're able to defend that mid, because the breach, that's where he's best at. He's able to get mid control so consistently and so well. Now you can see for Slay Them with respect, it's going to be Appa with the lurk. The rest of their members pushing, but Paradox, he's looking for the aggressive plays, might just be caught out by Appa.
Paradox finds the kill, connects the hit shot, and that is going to put Slay Them with respect in a little bit of a pickle. Now considering that this is the pistol round, your accuracy is going to be very key here. ZBDF on the spy cam, and Paradox just pushing from behind. He's looking for a backstab. Now will Slay Them with respect be prepared, or will they drop the ball here? Now they're just gonna pull it back and go for the rotate. slay them with respect, something that they like to do. Paradox is going to find Juven, and that gives the attackers a little bit of information. And now they're going to make their way over to the A side. Right around the corner is going to be Master. And there is the dual. Love is going to come out on top and get that soul to fully heal. And this is the beauty of Reyna. Now it's a 2v4, 2v3 situation as Bond F finds Cliche. Now the spike will be planted. Love has to back his buddy up. He's gonna get a bit of info. The hot hands comes out. Love just playing around. And we're going to see the Nair dropped out, 32 HP. Bondef finds Deoxys. He's firing away, but Paradox picks up a triple. Bondef picks up a triple as well. It's down to the 1v1, but Bondef has the upper hand, and that is a 4K. Saving the round despite losing a member first. Slay them with respect. Bond F picking up that 4K is just massive. I mean, that takes out so much pressure from their teammates. That is what you want in a duelist. And you can safely say that when it comes to executing your responsibilities, Bond F is right there at the top. Now 5 rounds in the lead, slay them with respect. This game is going exactly how I think they want it to go.
Go.
Is this Hollywood? Because Bond does not miss his headshots. It's like a movie of James Bond. Time and time again, he's like, I think head is gone. Bond doing extremely well. The classic headshots is just an extremely hard skill to really master, but it seems like Bond has done the same. And now with THERADSYNDICATE forced onto an eco, it's a chance for Slay Them with Respect to get themselves to double digits, and they're looking to do that with the help of taking mid control. Juven found first blood, and now with the seismic blast, they'll be able to clear out the vents. But Cliche with that frenzy finding 2 makes it 3v3 and gets himself a gun.
Now, even playing field here, a little bit of a disadvantage considering that Paradox doesn't have much health. 36 HP to be exact. And Deoxys lurking in the mid area. We do see the attackers moving from attacker side spawn. They're going over to the A site. We see the dark covers being dished out by the attacking Omen. And now Nepu is on site. He's going to spot one, picks up a kill onto Deoxys, and he can get the plant going. And that is just massive in a circumstance like this, because taking out one just puts you with the upper hand. How will the Rat Syndicate respond? We do see Paradox in screens, and the Omen up there in heaven. Juven just gonna wait, and I do like the way Slay Them with respect position himself after the spike has been planted, but Juven's gonna find Paradox, and Nepu gets the last kill, and that is gonna be double digits for Slay Them with respect. And you know, this is honestly a huge dominance, but the Rat Syndicate, they still have a little bit more time to come back and try to pull this game into their favor, because they need this or they will be completely eliminated from the tournament.
I think for me, the biggest issue with the way Rat Syndicate are approaching these rounds is that they're contesting mid control. They really do not need to contest mid control. What they need to rather do is try to delay the Slay Them with Respect from taking that mid control as much as possible. Allow Slay Them with Respect to funnel into the sites, to sort of walk into the traps that their sentinels have set up in that site for Killjoy, and then punish them for getting into that position. The sentinel, double sentinel play really not coming into focus here, and that's really what Rat Syndicate need to sort of rely on. We'll see if they're able to sort of understand that for themselves and execute now in this buy round. Rat Syndicate, this round, they need to pull back, otherwise Slay Them with Respect will get a huge advantage, not just in terms of the scoreline or economy, but in terms of momentum for closing not only this map, but this entire series out and kicking Rat Syndicate out of this tournament. Now 10-4 buy round for Rat Syndicate. Instead, it's gonna be Love picking up that first kill and using that dismiss to bait out Master. Beautifully played by Love right there.
The Rat Syndicate having a little bit of trouble. Bondef flies out of nowhere, just blasts ZPDF right in the face with that showstopper. Now Deoxys, last man standing. He's gonna just save his weapon here, the Phantom. And this is a round for Slay Them with Respect. Now, man, this game honestly feels a little bit one-sided, because Slay Them with Respect, when they're on the side of attack, they play around a lot with, you know, lurkers. They create a lot of sound, and that breach is just so good to use he has a lot of utility, and ultimately he can set up for his teammates. I do prefer the composition from Slaydem with respect, considering that, you know, the double duelist, one initiator, one controller, one sentinel. Whether you are on defense or attack, I do feel it gives you a good amount of abilities to work with, and that's going to be Juven taking out Deoxys. 11th round secured for Slaydem with respect.
Yeah, definitely, right? Like the breach and the lineup that Slay Them With Respect have, it's very much a standard lineup. The only difference in it being that Reyna pick, and you can see why Love likes that Reyna pick. He likes to go in for the aggressive peaks, like you can see in the replay, and then using that dismiss to perfection. We've seen that from him so many times, where he's able to use that dismiss to get out of extremely sticky situations where he might have otherwise been taken down, and sort of just bait Rat Syndicate into that duel where his teammates able to follow up and take them down. Rat Syndicate though, we were expecting some sort of like difference in their play coming into the second, and while we saw a bit of that with the confidence in the first half, we're not seeing that in the second. Once again, Slay Them With Respect getting the kills, 4v3, and now with the spike down dropped at mid, you can see Deoxys scrambling towards there, but that's really not what he should be doing, because now Slay Them With Respect, they're going to exploit this lack of discipline. They're going to make themselves their way over to A, and A is completely open.
Now, Cliche, he's going to find a kill for himself. The Rat Syndicate, what are they going to do? Slay Them With Respect, they successfully make it over to the A site. And you see how all the kills happen very close to the B site and the middle area of the map. Ultimately, they are going to bring the spike furthest away from the point of, you know, the last contact. And that allows them to have a little bit more time to get the spike plant and then move into their positions. Now, Nepu here, just jiggling. He's gonna dash out the flash, and it's gonna be a little bit of a personal battle here. But let's see who comes out on top. Nepu connects the flash, and he's gonna pick up the Deoxys. Last man standing is Cliche, and Nepu ends that off with a double kill. That is gonna be match point for Slay Them With Respect.
Match point.
Juven is actually at the top of the board, and Bondev just trailing behind. Paradox is playing out of his mind. That you have to give it to him. He's getting a lot of frags. It's definitely working out for him. But overall, you know, Slay Them With Respect, a lot more consistent. Juven, who would have thought a controller would be an absolute madman at picking up the frags? But, you know, we always say that Omen is the best controller to pick up if you have a very aggressive playstyle.
Yeah, I think the hardest part about sort of playing that Omen is being able to show your skill through it in that aggressive manner, and Juven able to do it to perfection, now leading the charts for his team. But talking about leading the charts, Paradox himself doing extremely well, now picking up the first blood for his team into this round. Match point for Slay Them With Respect, but it's Rat Syndicate with the advantage. I think for Rat Syndicate, what they're really struggling with is that patience in just being able to hold down his site, just constantly looking for the pushes. Paradox, he finds one, but has to reveal his position with the hot hands, ends up going down to Appa, and now it's 4v3 for Slay Them With Respect. The ultimate is ready for Juven, so if they can just sort of force all of Rat Syndicate onto A side, they could go for a rotate onto B with the help of that Omen ultimate. Now you can see Appa just delaying the Heaven push as much as possible, setting up that trap fire. Now with the Rolling Thunder coming out, they're going to execute onto site A, and they're going to find one, but Deox is timing that Swarm Grenade to perfection, able to pick up Juven. Deox is looking for his second, but Appa takes him down. 2v2 on the map, and Slay Them With Respect, they're onto site.
Appa finding a triple kill. This is massive because ZPDF is the last member standing, and it might just be over for the Rat Syndicate here in the TEC Challenger Series 4. Spike has been planted. One member is extremely low on the side of attack, and ZPDF, he's going to inch his way very closely, checking all angles, and Appa puts a bullet right in his head, ending it off with a 4K. That is Slay Them With Respect, making it over to the semi-finals. They have won the quarterfinals in the lower bracket. Unfortunately, this is the end of the road for the Rat Syndicate. But it was a great bunch of games to watch, solely because, you know, I think we can learn a lot from the approaches to, you know, these different maps and to team strategy. But let's just take a look at the end scoreboard. Paradox is actually right at the top. He is at the top of the scoreboard, and you know that just speaks volumes. Paradox, he still got it in him, and you know whenever he needs to bust out those flashy plays, he will do exactly just that.
Yeah, Paradox, he did really well in this map, picking up 19 kills for himself. He was constantly trying to lead the charge for his team to pull it back. But in the end, the fact that Rat Syndicate, with their double Sentinel lineup, not able to win a single round in defense, really ended up costing them the match. We saw a 13-3 in map 1, 13-4. Slay them with respect. They're setting that name for themselves for their future opponents. They are a team to be scared of.
Indeed. All right, let's talk more about what went down in this best of three in this lower bracket of the quarterfinals by moving into Relive the Moment, brought to you by Ideapad Gaming 3 notebook, powered by 4000 series Ryzen processors. Perfect for gaming and multitasking. Now, on the topic of the Red Syndicate, unfortunately, the journey ends here. But, we have seen some really great moments, specifically from Paradox, if I was to point out someone. He still has it in him. Very much a very good duelist. I do feel that the Red Syndicate might just have to sharpen up a little bit on synergy and team strategy. The ideal of the team has to figure out a way to kind of lead his team to success, because each individual player, the Deoxys, Masters, MDF, Paradox, all of them, they're really good at what they do. But even cliche, but they kind of have to find a way to work together more so than just relying on their own individual abilities. So, the Rat Syndicate, I hope to see you guys the next series. It was a treat watching all of you. And as for Slay Them with Respect, I feel like they are improving as these games go by. Compared to yesterday when they were up against Velocity Gaming, it looks like they came here today in the lower bracket with a vengeance. They wanted to fight. We saw so much discipline and so much coordination and confidence come blooming out of Slay Them with Respect. It is such a treat, and honestly, I'm going to keep my eye very close on Slay Them with Respect, solely because I think that they are one of the underdogs.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So I think you could see a huge difference from the way they were approaching the game against Velocity to the way they were approaching the game today. Like, one of the key things that we always ask our teams to learn from Velocity is that proactive approach where they're able to continuously change the way they're approaching a particular round, yet maintain the coordination and synergy between the team. And that's really what, throughout map 1 and map 2, got Slay Them with Respect the huge advantages. You saw some peaks coming out from Love towards A short. Sometimes they were going for the push down into B garage using that breach, and that sort of unpredictability in that proactiveness is what makes Slay Them with Respect really scary. And the fact that they're continuously improving, as you said, they're a team to watch out for. Definitely an underdog team that can go all the way and take the title. For the Rat Syndicate, I really do feel they could have done better, and it's, as you said, just that synergy that they need to tidy up a little bit, because with that double Sentinel lineup, I, for one, was expecting much more discipline, really. If they're able to just hold on to their angles, I think they would have made it a much closer matchup. But nothing to take away from either teams. They made it really far into the tournament, and I'm sure we'll see them back in Series 5, just making themselves better in that process. Say them with respect, though, they're going to move on to the next stage.
All right, congratulations once again to Slay Them with Respect for making it over to the semifinals. And now we have come to the end of the first half. We will have the second half starting later on at around 7 p.m. So remember to like and subscribe, click that bell icon so you get notifications when we go live. You don't want to miss the action. And, usually in the lower brackets, I find that it does get a little bit juicier because you're hanging by a thread. This is the last chance that you have, and you got to fight for it. So I hope to see you guys there. And a few more messages. We do have a massive sale on LG monitors. Links are in the description, and you can also follow our socials. Links are there too. We always have updates on tournament related stuff. So it was great to be here casting the first half. Thank you, CA, for joining me. And my name is Apollonia. I was your host and caster. And hopefully I see you guys very soon. So this is the end of the first half. Remember, guys, take care and happy gaming.
Thank you.